What is up, everybody? So, this is the week we've been waiting for. UFC 294, Makhachev versus Volkanovski 2. And like I told you in my last videos, I think this is going to be much more competitive than Charles Oliveira taking on Islam Makhachev. I think this is a much better fight for the fans. And whoever wins this fight is pound for pound number one, in my opinion. I mean, Volkanovski, you got to already put up there. I mean, obviously, John Jones, I'm not putting him into this conversation because he just doesn't have the activity of a Volkanovski. I mean, Alex Volkanovski's this guy is super active as a champion. Most champions you don't really see fighting as consistently as a Volkanovski. Even Izzy Adesanya, say what you want about Izzy, but that boy was active. He fought a lot. So this is probably going to be one of the best pay-per-views of the year, in my opinion. You got to put this one in 295. This one might even be better than 295 just because, you got Islam, you got Volk, you got Hamzat, you got Aliskerov, Muhammad Makhachev. The list goes on, just crazy Russians stacked from top to bottom. Even the prelims on this card are insane, man. So let's get right to the main event here. Islam Makhachev, Volkanovski. What's crazy is he's a minus 260. On my site that I took him, Alex Volkanovski's plus 200. I don't know if did these guys odds makers watch the last fight, because that fight was super close, man. The fact that he's more than a 2-1 underdog going into this weekend is what's happening. Do they think it's because he's taking it on short notice? Because Alex Volkanovski's not a guy who gets out of shape. This guy's got wicked cardio, you know. He's not a guy takes time off. This guy's training every day. He's like a samurai. And the fact that odds makers are just counting him out it's a little disrespectful to me, especially if you watch that fifth round, man. Alex Volkanovski is a savage, dude. And he's taking this fight on 10 days notice. He's not taking this fight because he's out of shape. If he was out of shape, he would not accept this fight. This boy is in real good shape, and he's ready to go. And Makhachev, this guy's been training the last few months in Abu Dhabi. They brought Khabib in, and that's the important thing here. Um, that they brought Khabib in. I know Khabib was not in the corner of the last fight, and it was in Australia or New Zealand, in Volkanovski's backyard. Now you're in, you know, it's not Islam's backyard. It's not Russia, but the UAE is definitely favored toward the Muslims and the Russians. And now you brought Khabib in, and you're wrestling with Khabib all day. That's the best case scenario for Islam Makhachev. I think when you're grappling Khabib all day, and then you go to grapple Volkanovski, I think that's going to be a lot easier grappling with Volkanovski than dealing with Khabib in training camp. And what better way than have the number one fighter probably of all time? He's up there in your corner and in your training camp leading up to this. These Russian Dagestanis, man, these guys, all they do is eat, sleep, train, pray. They're living that samurai lifestyle, right? So I'm going Islam Makhachev. That's surprising to some people, but a lot of people are betting Volkanovski. A lot. But I got to go with Islam Makhachev. I think he's the better fighter. Now, the only thing that Alex Volkanovski has that Islam does not have is a better chin. I think Alex Volkanovski has the better chin out of the two. But everything else, I think, the striking, I think I got to favor Islam. Islam's good striker, man. The grappling, that's not even close. I think Islam is a much better grappler. Cardio, both guys got wicked cardio. Speed, actually, I might give the speed edge to Volk. Maybe even the cardio edge to Volk, but yeah, you got to definitely give the chin to Volk. So I'm taking Islam on this one. And I'll show you guys my parlay after. I got a 3 play, and I'm going to add a couple more guys to another parlay as well. All right, in the middleweight division, you got Hamzat Chimaev taking on Kamaru Usman. And Usman here coming off 2 straight losses to Leon Edwards. but that was at welterweight. Now he's moving up in weight, like taking on fight on 10 days notice against Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev, man, this guy's he's the guy. I think UFC wants this guy to be the middleweight champion. And I think what better way than to take out a guy like Kamaru Usman, because this was a fight people wanted to see at welterweight. Now what's happening at middleweight, obviously Usman, he's not the same guy, but he's still for real, man. Kamaru Usman, say what you want about him, 2 straight losses. He was winning that fight against Leon, but the last one, he did lose. But don't count out Kamaru Usman. And I think he's only been taken down once in his career. 97% takedown defense. Khamzat Chimaev is a wicked, wicked wrestler. So I'm going to be curious to see, is he able to just dominate Usman on the ground like he does everyone else? Now, if he takes Usman to the ground, he's gonna be ground and pounding and looking for submissions. It's not like where he's fighting a Gilbert Burns where he's scared of, sort of, not scared, but you don't really want to go to the ground with Gilbert Burns. The submission threat is really there. But with Kamaru Usman, you're not really worried about the submission threat, right? But the hard part with Usman is getting him to the ground. If he gets him to the ground, now Usman's going to be in big trouble because his jiu-jitsu, his submissions, sweeps off his back, stuff like that, it's not really there. And look at the age difference, 7 years younger. Khamzat Chimaev's been in camp. I think at 185, his gas tank's going to be much better. I think he was just cutting too much weight getting to 170. So it's hard, man. The cardio is not going to be there when you're cutting that much weight one day before the fight. So I got to go with Khamzat Chimaev. I think he should crush Kamaru Usman everywhere. I think he's better on the feet. I think he's better grappler. Cardio, we might have to give to Usman. He's he's been those 5-round wars, so I might give that to Usman, but this is only a 3-rounder, right? Sorry, only 3-rounder, so got to go with Khamzat Chimaev on that one. Now Magomed Ankalaev taking on Johnny Walker. This is going to be quite the mismatch. I think Magomed Ankalaev is probably the best fighter in that 205 division. I think he's probably the worst matchup for like a guy like Alex Pereira, Johnny Walker, guys who like to strike. Magomed Ankalaev can wrestle, he can strike, he can do it all. And this guy has not lost since the Paul Craig fight where he got, caught in a triangle choke. But since that triangle choke, which he was dominating the fight, by the way, he should be 19-0. He got caught. It is what it is. But since then, he's been on a 9 or 10 fight win streak, just beating guys easy. Other than that Blachowicz fight, which was a draw, I thought Magomed won that fight. Yeah, this is interesting. Johnny Walker, he's coming off a win over Anthony Smith. It was a unanimous decision win. Not too impressive. I think I'm gonna go Ankalaev all day. I think Ankalaev should completely dominate Johnny Walker. Now, hey, can he get clipped and get KO'd? Sure, anyone can get clipped and KO'd, right? But I think skill for skill, Magomed Ankalaev is much better everywhere. And it's only 3 rounds, so that's going to favor Ankalaev as well. Now, this is interesting. Ikram Aliskerov taking on Warley Alves. So Ikram Aliskerov was supposed to fight Nasruddin Imavov. That fight fell out. I think Imavov had an injury, I believe, or something, and now we got Warley Alves. Props to him taking this fight on short notice and in a different division. You're talking about a 170 going up to 185 fighting Aliskerov. If you guys don't know Ikram Aliskerov, this guy is a Sambo world champion. He's the only guy I've ever seen stuff Khamzat Chimaev takedown. He stuffed Khamzat's takedown. I was like, oh my God, this guy's got for real grappling, Sambo world champion. Now, unfortunately for him, he got KO'd by Khamzat with that vicious uppercut. But man, the fact that he was able to stuff Khamzat's takedown, his grappling is very good. You're talking about a super high level grappler, right? Fighting out of Dagestan, Russia. These guys got different level grappling. So you got to go Ikram Aliskerov all day. I think he's going to KO Warley Alves, completely destroy Warley Alves. Next up, Said Nurmagomedov taking on Gafarov. Said Nurmagomedov. He's not related to Habib and the boys, but he is from that region of Dagestan. But it's weird. Everyone thought they were cousins or something. Even me at first, I was like, "Oh shit, they got to be related." Nurmagomedov from Dagestan, but no, they're not related at all. And yeah, so his last fight took on Jonathan Martinez. If you don't know Jonathan Martinez, we just bet him last fight against Adrian Yanez, and he completely destroyed Adrian Yanez. And that was a big loss for Said Nurmagomedov. If he won that fight, they were going to push him into the top 5, top 10, all those top guys in that division. And now he lost that. Now he's taking on Gafarov. Gafarov fighting at Tajikistan. He's coming off a loss himself. So both guys coming off a loss. I think I got to go with Said Nurmagomedov. I'm going with the Russian on this one. I think he's just better everywhere. Better in the ground. Got some good foot sweeps too. He got some really clean foot sweeps. I've seen him hit. Got to go with Nurmagomedov. Now this is my guy. If you guys know, I've been pumping this kid up since he was a kid. He's still a kid, 23 years old. 33 fight win streak he's on. Muhammad Makhachev is on a 33 fight win streak, including his amateur record. This boy is for real. Only 23 years old. Born in Dagestan. I think he moved to England, whatever. You see a lot of Russians that, you know, they get passports from other countries so they can represent in the Olympics. I don't know if that's the case with Muhammad Makhachev, but fighting out of England. But man, this guy is so good everywhere. He's so explosive, so fast, just incredible cardio. I think he's going to literally destroy Tim Elliott. I'm assuming he's going to finish Tim Elliott. 13-year age difference. Tim Elliott 36, Makhachev 23. Now people are going to say, "Oh, Tim Elliott, he's got 33 pro fights. Muhammad Makhachev's only 10-0 in the pros." Dude, do not look at that. Muhammad Makhachev is super experienced. 33 fight win streak. I'm including his amateur career. He's insane. I'm pissed off they don't have a photo of this guy. How many UFC fights does he have? They don't have a photo of him on ESPN? Fucking bullshit. He's already, he's had like what, 5-0 in the 4-0 in the UFC. They don't have a fucking picture of this guy. That's ridiculous, man. That's disrespectful. But yeah, Muhammad Makhachev completely gonna destroy Tim Elliott. Oh, up next, I want to cover this one. Javid Bashrat. I've been telling you, the Bashrat bros, the two brothers, both 14-0, the Afghan brothers. These boys are savages, dude. Savages. And he's going to completely destroy Victor Henry. Sorry, Victor Henry. You should not have took this fight. This is going to be a one-sided domination, in my opinion. Javid Bashrat is for real. The Bashrat bros are for real. Tune in. Do not. Every time these guys fight, make sure you're taking these guys. These guys, like Muhammad Makhachev, like Hamzat, like Bashrat bros, I'm going to ride these guys until they lose, right? I'm going to ride the wave, bet on them every fight they have until they lose. I'm going to parlay them. I've been taking Hamzat since his first fight in the UFC. I've been taking Muhammad Makhachev. You guys know, you guys been watching me for a while. I've been taking those guys since their first fights in the UFC, and I will continue to take them until they lose, until they do me wrong. I'm going to ride the wave because these guys are for real, man. So Jafid Bashrat going to completely destroy Victor Henry. I mean, Victor Henry just lost to Rafael Sunsao, not his last fight, but the one before that. And he's going to be in a rude awakening, 36 years old, getting up there, especially at the 135. Lower weight divisions, you see age does matter. Now, when he goes to the heavyweights, you'll see a little older guys that are, able to hang in there. But at this weight, no way. Go with the Bashrat bros all day. And the last one I'm going to touch on, so I'll take Nathaniel Wood too against Naimov. That's a complete mismatch. But this one, Anshul Jubli taking on Mike Breeden. So Jubli, I believe he's the only fighter, maybe one or two fighters out of India. So if you're the UFC and you're trying to build that market in India, you're going to want Jubli to win, right? Why would you put him against someone who's going to completely destroy him? And now you can't really build that market in India. This is the best case scenario. If they get Jubilee to win, they get some more fighters from India. Boom, that's going to be build the brand in India. And the last thing they want is Mike Breeden to win. So if you want someone to add on your parlay, Jubilee might be a good one because the UFC is going to want him to win. And you look at Mike Breeden's record: 10 wins, 6 losses. That's not impressive. He's coming off 3 straight losses, including his last fight where Terrence McKinney just crushed him in like under 90 seconds, completely KO'd him. And so that's the guy they're using it as a stepping stone, build him up, and I think Jubilee should completely dominate Mike Breeden. And the last one, Magomedov taking on Bruno Silva. So I think Bruno Silva lost to Pereira back in the day. I know he's coming off a win over Brad Tavares. His last fight, he did get choked out by Brendan Allen, but this is going to be a little different test. He's fighting Sharputin Magomedov. Now, this guy is for real, right? Undefeated, 11 and 0, 10 and 11 and 0, but he's never fought in the UFC, right? Now, that's the difference. Bruno Silva has way more experience in the UFC against way better competition. Is that going to be enough to beat Magomedov? I don't know. I don't like betting against these Russian cats, man, because undefeated Russian, I don't really want to bet against them. You never know how good this guy is. So I'm going to lean towards Magomedov, but Bruno Silva is a good striker in his own realm. And, he can definitely beat Magomedov, especially the experience in the UFC against top flight competition is significant. This guy's had way more experience than uh, Magomedov. I think he's had 7, 8 fights in the UFC compared to 0 fights in the UFC. But Magomedov has just been completely crushing people on the regional scene. So I think I'll take Magomedov in that one. And why they're hiding that on the early prelims on the first fight? Come on, bro. That's not going to be a great fight. The fact that they're hiding it just shows you how stacked this card is. What a card, man. This is going to be fun. I'm just pissed off it's so early in the morning. The first fight's at 7 a.m. Jesus. That's pretty brutal. So get up early and watch these fights, man, because they're going to be wild. You're not going to want to watch the replay on these, that's for sure. It's just not the same, especially when you know the outcome already. And if you guys need a place to BetUS, promo code Iceman. You already know, the best sports betting site in the business. Nobody, I don't care, no site has ever gives out the bonuses and like the free bets that BetUS does. I've gambled, for almost 13 years now. I've been doing this, and I haven't seen any website that's given out the promos that BetUS is and the free bets and all that stuff. So if you guys need a place to bet, Iceman promo code BetUS, and I'm gonna post my bets here. So I'm parlaying Muhammad Makhachev parlayed with Hamzat and Islam. That's more than double your money. Also, if you guys are not feeling any of those, you can add on the guys like Jafid Basharat and stuff. I think those are some guarantees. And I'm going to make a big parlay to hit big. And I'm going to add on Jafid Basharat. And yeah, let's do it. Out.